We are back on day 2 of the Shadow and Bone Marathon. I'm hoping my camera lasts a little bit longer, but we'll see how it goes. Without further ado, let's hop right into episode 3. Guys, it's an airship. Yes! I love airships. I'm so excited by this. Well, Kaz is being angsty. I guess we're supposed to feel bad for him because his brother was lost in a plague, and somehow he got wrapped up in being on the plague ship with the corpses too. Kaz is a real asshole. I know he's smart. I know he has like a plan and all this other stuff that's supposed to make him admirable, but the way he is dragging his friends into this conflict without giving them any information makes me feel some kind of way about him. Maybe like slightly abusive or slightly self absorbed in a way that just makes it really hard for me to be rooting for him or wanting him to win. If it wasn't for Inej and Jesper and admittedly the Heartrender starting to grow on me a little bit too, I probably would be not rooting for Kaz to win and hoping that he gets some kind of just desserts for being a giant douche all the time. Not a big fan of the whole like Jill Fjorden thing. I thought in episode 2 I was gonna be more into it because I thought we were gonna get like a breakout heist from the Six of Crows and I was gonna enjoy like the breaking in, breaking out part, even though I don't really care about the dude so much. But now that the Heartrender is like so obsessed with him, I get that they had a moment or whatever back in season 1, but the truth of the matter is that he is from a culture that captures people like her and burns them. Like, you can't undo that. And as it is, he's like leaning on his faith and stuff in prison. We saw a little bit of that in episode 2.
And you just can't have it both ways, show.
Like, either his faith makes him a jackass and he sees the error of his ways when he's with the Heartrender and realizes everybody is people and needs to be treated humanely, or his faith is like good. And if that's the case, since his faith is part of what's causing him to capture Grisha and kill them, then you're sort of saying the Grisha are bad. I'm sure it's going for some kind of like complex something about like dogmatism and faith being bad, but spirituality being good. But it's very hard to get that when we don't really have quite enough of the spiritualism for that. We just don't have the religious context to make that work. So I really resent we're going to continue to talk about this Fjorden and he's going to be a reoccurring character unless we're going to get an exciting, daring prison break in from it. Flashback with Kid Kaz playing with Pekka Rollins' daughter is like a cute way to show that he's always been really observant. But because I don't like Kaz, all I can think of is who is this daughter and where is she now?
If we could go back to like Alina and Mal being really cute, I'd prefer that.
Bagra and the Darkling have really great rapport back and forth on screen, but it does like raise a lot of questions for me about their relationship as a whole because it seemed to me back at the Little Palace, she 100% supported the Darkling, and then like out of the blue, she warns Alina about him and tries to get her out of there before the Darkling can take over. Now, like, she is in a cage, and it is just such a weird mother son dynamic. It feels like Bagra in some ways is here specifically to be a lore drop, and her as a human being with actual reactions and emotions and thoughts and feelings, like, doesn't for realsies matter as long as she maintains that one position and just keeps us on task for the story to be storying. The fact that she has this dissonance in her character makes me think that she was a lot flatter in the book and a lot more there for plot progression. And the show was trying to do something with her and like elevate her character so it'll be more memorable and better to see on screen. So I'm sitting here watching Alina fail her first attempt to destroy the fold and wondering, like,
Why the heck did this ship go so far into the fold? Is there a reason she couldn't have been like on the edge of the fold and destroyed a little bit of it at a time?
kind of sucks that my charming privateer is actually going to be one of the royal sons. I 100% get why Alina is pissed about that. And you would think he'd given her like a little bit of warning, considering he had already correctly identified that she has felt betrayed and deceived in previous situations with the royal family and the army. Also, I'm kind of wondering how this is going to get us to the Firebird search. We already kind of knew that 2 amplifiers weren't going to be enough to do this. It kind of surprises me that they even tried to heal the fold without going after the Firebird in the first place. Well, anyone hoping to redeem the Darkling? It's over now. Guy is cutting off fingers from his mom to make into Lucky Charms to amplify his power. Man does not need another amplifier. What he needs to do is get a handle on his new power, figure out a way to mitigate those headaches, or maybe even undo what he's done so that he can go back to like feeling at 100%. He is looking rough. Rather than lack of power, the strain of all this constant pain and discomfort is what's going to get him distracted and make it possible for somebody else to sneak up on him and defeat him. This like bone amplifier thing was gross when it was animals, but it just got to be like super gross now that we know you can turn other Grisha into amplifiers. And question, is Bagra able to become an amplifier because she's super powerful, or is she able to do it because she's a Darkling and he's a Darkling? Or could any Grisha's bones work? Like, why are you not digging up graves or something like that? I thought you had to kill the animal to take its power. If you just have to cut a piece off of it or be near it, like Alina was with the deer, the rules seem very wishy-washy. Like, using a human as an amplifier, are you like literally taking Bagra's power? And I guess while we're at it too, like, how many animals are there out there that can be amplifiers? Since we do meet that one Heartrender on the privateer deck who has like the shark tooth, do most Grecias have amplifiers? Is this like a super common practice? Is it just that Alina's after legendary ones? I was willing to go with the amplifier theory and the legendary amplifiers, but this series keeps introducing new wrinkles and new theories and ideas, and it makes the whole thing seem like amplifiers just work very conveniently for the plot. So sometimes you gotta kill them, sometimes it works when things are alive, sometimes it works for humans, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes there are other animals out there that could do the job if we think it would be cool for another Grisha to have like some kind of amplify situation go on. I am 100% in on the Mal Alina hype train. He watches a royal propose to her, and he's like,
You should do it for the strategy and the protection, but we still love each other and we know it.
awesome. He's like everything you need in a relationship, and it's a childhood romance. I know something's gonna come in line and throw this off kilter because it's a young adult book and we haven't got some kind of third act trouble. But I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy all the vibes and the good feelings and the candy coated sweetness of this relationship for as long as I can. So Jesper and the demolitions guy come back from finding out about Albie Rollins. Demolitions guy looks 100% shocked. Kaz has like a split lip and a bloody chin. You'd have thought that Kaz had been beaten half dead. And granted, the scene that we saw of Kaz fighting, he might have been beaten half to death in. From the makeup and the look on his face, the way he's holding himself, what we can see of him, he looks just fine. I don't know why that dude was so shocked. I paused here in the middle of the scene not just to hit that, but also Kaz found out about Albie. I know because this is a young adult novel that nothing bad is going to happen to Albie and he's never been in any danger and Kaz isn't that dark, but the show has done an excellent job making me believe that Kaz is that dark. So, a couple thoughts on this jail scene. First, it slows everything down and it's terrible for pacing. Next, I really don't want to know about the Fjorden religion or spirituality or whatever. I know it's a faith that has such extremism. The majority part of that faith is hunting down and killing Grisha and likes to, generally speaking, oppress women and puts on a purity culture. Like, I'm not down with it. That's the main branch and that's what they're serving. Then we can just eradicate all of that religious faith. Anything that's redeeming in there, we could find in a better spiritual system or without a spiritual system at all. Next, like, is that dude that he's fighting a vampire? What's going on with his face? Why is the Heartrender chilling around here, watching him fight and calling his name and basically giving herself and him away to a guy who owns a prison who she knows to be cruel and who she's actively working with Kaz against? Like, she's so effing stupid in this moment. I don't understand. She's portrayed as a character to be pretty clever and with it and like aware of her surroundings and aware of people watching and where to go to get certain intel. All of it felt very contrived. I don't know where they're going with this story between her and him, but I don't like it and I wish it would just stop. And with that, I have finished watching episode 3. The Darkling is super unstable and he goes from like one end of emotional spectrum to the other really quickly with very little provocation. This is part of the side effects of him creating those shadow people because I can't imagine that he's lived this long and built all this stuff up and was this like emotionally unstable the whole time. Alina is making smart, rational decisions right now. I'm sure that won't last long, but her and Mal together is really sweet and cute. Still hating the crows, and since it looks like we're not getting a fun prison break, I just need the Heartrender to either give up on the Fjorden or for the Heartrender and the Fjorden to like exit my story, please. But what did you guys think about this episode? And are you liking Shadow and Bone season 2 so far? Let me know in those comments down below. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep reading. Bye!